Hi, we are now in Unit 4, Topic 1, Business Cycle. In this topic, you must know one definition, which is business cycle. The business cycle model shows a typical short-run growth path for an economy with the total output moving above and below the long-term average or trend path. Now, those words highlighted in green are what you will need to memorize for exam. Next, we will be looking at the business cycle curve. Now, this curve, you don't need it in the exam, but this curve actually tells you there are 4 phases of business cycle, which include peak, downswing, trough, and upswing. The pink dotted line represents the long-term trend. So here we can see the GDP is fluctuating above and below long-term trend. If question asks for 2 marks definition, then the word circle will be the second mark. Next subtopic would be the characteristics of each phase. This is the most important part of this topic. For each of the 4 phases, you will need to know 8 characteristics. But the characteristics are actually the same, but how you describe it is different. For example, during peak, our GDP is maximum. Inflation rate is at peak. Interest rate is high. Unemployment rate is at the lowest and the job growth is at peak. Consumption is strong or high, investment is at its highest level, where business confidence level is high, profitability is high, government spending is minimum, while the tax rate is maximum or tax revenue is high. Export is low due to low international competitiveness, and the import is high due to high level of employment rate. So now let's move on to the second phase, which is downswing or contraction phase. In this phase, you will see the same characteristic, but how you describe it is different. For example, GDP reducing, output gap increasing, inflation rate reducing, interest rate falling, unemployment rate increasing while job growth falling. Okay, so these are the keywords that you must change. You cannot use high or low during downswing. Okay, let's continue. For downswing, we have consumption falling, investment falling, businesses confidence level falling, government spending increasing, while tax rate and tax revenue falling, export start to increase as price reduces, and import starts to reduce as unemployment rate increase, hence purchasing power fall. Next, let's move on to the third phase of business cycle, which is trough or slump. In this phase, this is where economy is doing very poorly. Therefore, we will see GDP at its lowest level, inflation rate at its lowest level, interest rate is lowest as RBA try to stimulate the economy, the unemployment rate is high, but the job growth rate will be very low. Okay. Next, consumption very low because confidence is low. Investment very low. Again, businesses' confidence is low because economy is not doing well. Government spending will be very high because government needs to stimulate the economy, and hence government will also reduce tax rate. And the export will be high due to low price, and import will be low due to low purchasing power in relation to high unemployment rate. Let's move on to the fourth phase of business cycle, which is recovery or upswing. Here we will see GDP starts to increase as the economy expands. We see inflation rate starts to increase, interest rate will start to increase, and the unemployment rate will reduce, while job growth will increase because businesses starts to have more confidence in an economy that is expanding, that is moving upwards. Consumption is increasing as unemployment rate is falling, people's purchasing power increase. Investment will increase as businesses' confidence increases. Government spending can start to fall as the economy doesn't need government's involvement or spending that much. and export will start to fall as price starts to increase, while import starts to increase as consumers' purchasing power increases. Next, we will look at the final part of this topic. Question hardly asked. If question ever asked, it will be definition or the example only. Okay, so this is the types of indicators or economy indicators where we have leading indicators, coincidence indicators, and lagging indicators. As mentioned, each of these we need to know the brief definition and example of it. In other words, we are trying to categorize some of the indicators that we have mentioned into three categories. Number one is leading indicators. Leading indicators, we use it to predict a phase or a trend. Means we will see it before the trend starts, such as share price. When share price keep increasing, we know the economy will go into upswing. Next, coincidence indicators. This happens during the phase itself. For example, during upswing, we see GDP increases, retail sales increases. Lastly, we will be looking at lagging indicators. Lagging indicators are indicators that is there to help us confirm a trend. For example, when we see unemployment rate increasing and inflation rate falling, we know that the economy has gone through a downswing phase. So it is there to confirm the phase. So that will be the end of Unit 4 Topic 1. Thanks for watching.